Unholy Mantis is rock and roll at its finest. Well, the name I thought of, I mean, we didn't draw it from a hat. It's not the street we live on. It's basically just came to me at some point in the springtime. I was on the bus and I was going through names. One of the names was Bookworm. It didn't seem to fit our style. And then I thought of Praying Mantis. Praying Mantis. Unholy Mantis.
I don't know if I would say I discovered them, but I kind of discovered them.
Yeah.
For some reason, people don't seem to believe me.
I think a good word to describe it is absolutely bonkers.
Try to get people to realize that I had a lot to do with them coming into what they are now.
Is that a good word? Bonkers? I can't speak for the other guys, but for my influences, definitely bands like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Frankie Valli's.
Two main influences: Sailor Moon, Magnum P.I.
Led Zeppelin, Avenged Sevenfold,
Poison,
Steel Panther.
The first time I heard Unholy Mantis play live is kind of hard to describe. It's kind of like a force of nature mixed with a train wreck and Godzilla all together at the same time. Just powerful. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just raw power, and I think there might have been some talent in there as well that was interesting. And of course their fashion sense was impeccable.
Warren had this habit of dressing in his mom's clothes and putting on her makeup and stuff. And we found out about it. We thought it was really creepy, but we got this idea that we should do the same thing and then run in on him and see how he reacts, just to see his face. So we did, and then I caught ourselves in the mirror, and we looked so dangerous. We looked like a band. And the next day we bought our instruments and we were rolling.
And then Pat went on about starting a band, careers, I don't know. At first I wasn't really into it. I was just shocked because they were just wearing outrageous clothing. And then I just looked into his eyes and they were so trusting and just so loving that I just had to go with them.
You made me part of the family.
I mean, I love that guy.
Well, the three of them were very enjoyable to work with, very enthusiastic, willing to try all kinds of things, new instruments. Warren, for instance, started off on the flute and the trombone, eventually ended up playing the bass. Alex Darsh ended up doing the same thing with the trombone, the tuba, and the bass. They ended up playing in the concert band, jazz band. Patrick, on the other hand, was a drummer, but he got mostly involved in the trumpet. That became his main instrument. Now, Patrick unfortunately missed quite a few exams due to illnesses. I'm not quite sure. It was beriberi or hoof and mouth, or there was a few diseases there that inflicted poor Patrick. So he missed quite a few tests, but he made up for it. He worked very hard, and it was a diamond in the rough.
The first album is just a lot of junk that people relate to. It's like an episode of House, but in an album. I mean, just hypothetical situations that just apply to your life in some way that you just don't know, but you just feel.
Fame hasn't really changed my life much. Like, I've just always been glamorous.
I have to face it, I'm a rock star at this point. I mean, seeing people get our lyrics tattooed to their bodies, it's moving. It's definitely moving.
I was lucky enough to open for them once. It was amazing. Just being there, performing next to them, was such an honor. Just seeing Pat's eyes glisten was the greatest moment I ever had.
That was an amazing night.
Talent night was awesome, like out of this world.
Just amazing.
It was awesome.
It's the beginning of a legacy. Start off with ever since I was born, I've known.
I mean, I get excited listening to our first album, but the second one, it's like all the emotion in that 3-hour block of Dr. Phil, Oprah, and Dr. Oz in a jar, spread out between 9 tracks.
Will There Ever Be a Rainbow will be the best record ever made by a band, ever. And I can promise you that. It's like Led Zeppelin 4 times 10.
Will there ever be a rainbow?
Nothing else to say.